Ladies and gentlemen, you have just entered the niche with your host, comic Nick Muniz. You got another Yelp review on your plate. Hope you didn't bring your appetite. This time, nothing to eat. We are going over the Denver Department of Motor Vehicles. There is no worse display of socialized customer service than the DMV. The worse reviews you get, the more funding you receive the following year. If the free market and fast food worked under this reverse incentive, it would be a race of cone tosses from the drive-thru window into the driver's seat. You've seen those videos. This is the antithesis of customer service we are going over. It'd be like if every time the McDonald's guy got your order wrong, no pickles. This guy gets Employee of the Month. That's the rules of the DMV. Few people can sass as hard as those government employees. My attendant was a gay man forwarding a life of closeted vitriol onto every disgruntled customer that came through. We will get there. This customer service, there is no friendly surveys you can take at the end to rate your customer service experience after the DMV. That is why the Yelp page is a work of art, or rather a pit of pity. And with videos like these, we can raise the bar for how our tax money is spent. Next time you need a license plate, go straight to the state penitentiary where they're printing those things. You will receive comparable customer service. Our previous experience, we detailed Bocaza Mexican Grill, right on 17th Street, heart of Denver. We're going back at 'em. My criticism was so well received by the Denverites. This staple of Capitol Hill of over 20 years shut down a month after my review. That's right. Break the walls down. Some people speculate it was due to, the self-destruction of the U.S. economy. Rather, I think my food critiquing skills are so monumental, a ripple was sent through the small businesses of America, everybody closing their doors knowing my wrath. The anger of Gordon Ramsay is coming to your small business. Meanwhile, Walmart, Target all grew 800% over the past 6 months. Your local heroes of the DMV, who now only make appointments a month in advance, are in the hot seat this week. Their recent business model updates, such as 40-minute lines outside, have had patrons less satisfied than ever. Didn't think that was possible. Hopefully, we're going to learn to appreciate competition and free commerce as we examine the well-oiled, mistake-free, state-monopolized business that is the DMV. The experience. The Denver DMV license office is a decrepit, windowless processing room reminiscent of the front office of Dachau. Hopeless faces, crying children, emaciated employees. When you're arrived, or the exact opposite. When arriving, you're forced into a minimum 30-minute standstill line outside. It moves inconsistently. There is no way to tell when you're going to make it into this building, even though you have a scheduled appointment. This could be a psychological trick straight out of the playbook of Guantanamo Bay. You deny your captors a sense of time or any ability to extrapolate future occurrences. I was behind a woman, I shit you not, with an eye patch. She bought her own folding chair, only person online, so even more inconsistent line movement. Maybe she was there for her boating license for her pirate ship. Behind me was a man talking on speakerphone about someone's son who was recently arrested. My eavesdropping skills are unmatched, and it seemed like DeMarcus had a good shot at parole and will be back out on the streets soon. This man also had sandals on with his toenails sticking in an upright position. Looked like a 1700s graveyard tombstone sticking in every which direction. It reeked. Once you're off the hot pavement, you're given this pink strip, a little 5-year-old lanyard ring around your wrist as a way to identify whatever business you are there to conduct. Another 10 minutes of sitting just to amplify the captor's cortisol levels. It induces that hurry up and wait tactic. Next, you're called in for an eye exam that Oedipus Rex could pass. You hear the letters being spoken by every person before you. XJ92. Next. XJ92. You could literally fuck your mom, stab your eyes out, and still pass this eye exam. After this exam is administered by a 400-pound woman with cataracts, her glasses lenses looked like she was looking through the Hubble Space Telescope. Another 20 minutes now of standing before you can finally see your attendant. Here, I made friends with who is to be known as Mickey Mouse. He wasn't given a wristlet, as Big Bertha told him, "I wouldn't forget that shirt anywhere. You radiate happiness." Now, the man didn't have the poise or inspiration of Mickey. As I attempted to stare at the floor uninterrupted, Mick emitted the words to me, "So what are you in for?" He was not interested in my story. He spoke over me within the first sentence, saying, "Yeah, my license, it got lost in the mail for a month now. I haven't been able to go to the bar. How am I going to get this fixed? I don't work there." Not going to be able to answer these questions. I interrupted his sob story to say, "Yeah, I'm here to get a new license to buy a gun." That shut him up real quick. There are over 10 stations in this room with one woman on duty. This was the fierce fire flame that we will be referring to as Freddie Mercury. I have a better mustache than this man now. However, he bitched out Mickey better than I ever could have. He told him, as soon as he approached the counter, he goes, "Sir, your feelings are invalid here." The Department of Motor Vehicles. It is truly a battle of wit and knowing the rules inside out, which clearly one side is favored here. Mick tried to, "My license, it was lost in the mail for a month. I haven't been able to go to the bar." Freddie said, "We will get another ID in the mail, sir. Complaining's not going to do anything. I could be up to 2 weeks." Mickey, his spirits were crushed, and he was potentially sent home to die from withdrawal of a lack of spirits. Next was my turn. I approached the counter, making sure not to make any potential sexual misconnections with this attendant. Freddie doubled down on his sass, did not like the cold shoulder. Gay DMV workers, they live in a binary existence of horny or angry. I chose the latter. He tried to dupe me with all these, "Your old license will be surrendered. Are you sure you want to do this? Yes, no, yes, no." Let him go, one by one. Understood. No, yes, straight. It is an us versus them mentality the DMV has heightened to an amount that you cannot surpass. Finally done with him, I am sent to another 10 minutes of sitting socially distanced. This is where all remaining patience goes to die. And finally, you are called up. No smiling, no retakes. $35 later, you're ushered out of the building, being reassured your ID will show up in the mail. You don't feel good after this interaction, especially when a guy like Mick is in front of you telling you your license is going to go missing and the USPS is non-existent. A little calamity right now. It's not going to get easier during election season. It's always revealing to have a run-in with your government, whether it be the DMV or on the side of a highway getting extorted for driving. I spent 90 minutes for a 3 o'clock appointment and was written up at work for coming in late. The interactions left me thinking, at least Dachau Visitor Center has a McDonald's. Let's hear from some other patients who are spending their hard-earned money before we get the final grade in for the day. 5 reviews, as always, a standard Yelp review. First up, we have Rachel B. Rachel visited 2 months into the quarantine. That was supposed to last 2 weeks. She has a trustworthy account, over 30 reviews, 55 friends, and on the 15th of May, Rachel, rude. It just isn't necessary. Why? Your job isn't that difficult. It's a slow day. Not many people in the office. You don't need to speak to people like they're 5 years old. Try being polite. It won't kill you. I promise. 1-star review from Rachel B. Straight out of Denver, Colorado. Unless you're a hero who takes summers off, a kindergarten teacher, there is no reason to be addressing your customers like they are 5 years old. I'm talking to you, Frederick Mercury. Rachel is right. Every day is a slow day in this new model of the DMV. There are less than a dozen appointments every single half an hour. You have no excuse to be falling behind. If the true government workers of America, garbage men, could throttle their work by choice, we would be living under 4 feet of trash. You have ever heard about the 1970s garbage strike? Within 4 days, New York City, the rats were eating out of people's hands. A 2020 DMV strike would most likely just make the community happy. People saving money, no more, you gotta pay for this sticker, this tag, this is license plate. When the government shuts down every single December, It's not like we get reimbursed for a little tax credit when all those senators take a month off, and it happens every year. Let's give the DMV a little bit of a break. Maybe if Freddie tried being polite to people, he wouldn't have to go home to beat his dick to sodomy every night. It is not a job with a lot of variation. It shouldn't be that hard to tie a string on my wrist and say, "Sit down, sir." Maybe we all do deserve a lollipop and a nap time after dealing with this rudimentary service. Number 2, Cassie D. We will give this time the office the benefit of the doubt, being such strange times, because Casey visited 2 years ago. Casey has over 1,200 followers, 500 reviews, 300 photos. This is a reliable reviewer. Oh shit, it's I can't tell. Cassie, maybe post-transition inferences make an ass out of you and me. We're going in between. Casey, with the 2-star review. Take a number. Oh, this place is awful. Take all the numbers you want. You will still be waiting a while, my friend. I was here for about 2 hours. Damn, I need to work on my butch voice. I'm going to throw it for the rest of the show. It seems as if there are not enough employees to help everyone in a timely manner. I'm not about robots taking people's jobs, but I think a few self-help kiosks would go a long way. Casey, talking about the robos, is no transhumanist. She knows people unfit for work, the slower people, like the DMV employees, need work too. I have reason to believe that when I went, I didn't even need to make an appointment. There were people hopping the line, lying in front of me. I stayed true to some morals, but Casey is right. You're going to be waiting for a while, my friend, and that was pre-pandemic. Even more, if we did have these self-help kiosks, I wouldn't have had to get into that debacle with Mr. Mercury. He's asking me, "Did you answer the pre-questions online, sir?" Well, I made my appointment a month ago, so I'm sorry I don't remember. To which he responded, "Okay, so what's your weight?" He didn't ask me for my height, my eye color, any of that. He just started with my weight. And I said, yes, I did answer these online. Had to say 190. Mickey Mouse now knows that I could be a little bit thinner. But who's going to lie to a robot? If we actually had these kiosks, Freddie Mercury, he's worse than the self-checkout robots that we have at King Soopers. It's hard to be worse. These checkout robots, they're laughing at me. I'm trying to get some groceries next to a hot girl, and it's going at full blast volume. Enter your donut quantity. Amount too high. Please remove excess donuts. You wouldn't lie about your appointment time to a robot. What if he calls his buddy, the robot lie detector, in? You are fucked. You're banned for the DMV for life. Maybe for the better then. Think about it. A robotic DMV. It would function as it should. The power returns to the customer. Mickey, he was scared as hell to even approach the counter with that gay man veering at him. The attendants already know the ins and outs. He knows where he's going to screw this guy over. It's not a fair fight. At least with the robots, we could collectively lower our blood pressure yelling at it like we do Siri. Lalokezia, baby. The best feeling on earth. Better than an orgasm. It is the release of endorphins when emitting foul language. Shit. It'd be better for our health as a nation. Less people would be dying of the virus if all of us could just screech at these clumsy robots. Freddie, he must be so skinny from that Lalokezian diet. Casey waited for 2 hours pre-virus and still supports his fellow man. That is guru-level concentration, special forces material, the unbreakable Casey. Hoorah! Number 3, we have Justin A. Justin truly had a subpar experience, and we're going to let him speak for himself here. 1-star review. Unfortunately, I don't know the woman's name who was at the counter to greet me before actually getting to the waiting room, but let me just say, I haven't had an experience like this with a person since I lived in New York. The woman was incredibly, and I mean extremely, rude. I walked in and greeted her with a "Hi, how are you?" since I've been welcomed in by security, needn't, since I currently have an appointment via COVID. She must have been insulted by my greeting because she absolutely ignored it and said, "What are you here for?" Before I could respond, she demanded it again. Keep in mind, there's literally 0 people behind me. When I actually got inside the lobby area, I'm certain that they had more employees in that room than customers. It gets worse. I tried to ask why I was receiving this treatment, and she transitioned to, I need to ask you to take your temperature. Or are you going to have an attitude about that too? I was blown away. Honestly, despicable behavior. I walked into the lobby area shaking with frustration and heightened anxiety. I swear to you that if I was any older or in bad health condition, I probably could have had a stroke with how vile this woman made me feel with her treatment. There's plenty of other DMVs to go around. There's no need to be abused by this troll. Take yourself elsewhere, save the stress. Side note, it's most unfortunate since the employees who ended up helping me were super nice and helpful. So was the guy who took my picture, and it was a fast experience. As long as you get past the woman hoping they can remove her from the ambassador duty since she's actually not capable, then the experience beyond that was actually perfect. Slipped into a Christopher Walken. Justin A. That is a strong review from a New York accent. Only 4 reviews in his whole career. That is a truly dissatisfied customer. He fired up Yelp over it. It was well written, vulnerable, made other abused citizens laugh at the comments. The connectivity of Yelp is what puts the power back in the people's hands. Second to last, we have Ken S. Going to the DMV, it should remind you of the accomplishments of our democracy. Like on voting day, you should be proud of the institutions that you have paid to be a part of. Not for Ken. Ken, coming out of Milpitas, California, with 18 reviews and 1 star for the Denver DMV, is saying, typical rude, disrespectful employees who hate their job and take it out on everyone else. If you anger a single person there, they will spite you. They might refuse you service, or they may lie to you and get you to leave. They might have security escort you out. Technically, none of this is legal, and they don't care. For them, spite is the name of the game, and they are good at it. There you have it. Ken S. The S is for spite. Ken has worked some graveyard shifts. I'm sure he's dealt with some Karens in his day. There is no quicker way to turn on the human race than working a customer service job for an extended period of time. Ken hit the nail on the head. When it comes to the attitude of a burnt-out government employee, they wield all the power in this situation, and they're going to make sure that you know it. You needed your ID to fly to your sister's wedding? Oh, I'm sorry, sir. We just got called into a team meeting. You know there's a 50% chance that she'll get remarried one day. Oh, you need your boating license so a girl you lied to will hook up? I'll have you know, sir, I ruined 5 water skiing tournaments this summer alone. If you have the best mannerisms, if you walk in dressed in the most inviting outfit ever, say a shirt with a mouse on it who makes dreams come true, you still will wind up in a battle of ire. When a DMV worker isn't drunk, they're hungover. It is a true Ireland in that damn place. We got our last review coming in from Harvey C, bringing us full circle. He's paying for the mistakes that were already nabbed out of his income tax. Harvey C says, 1-star review. Manager was horrible and wanted me to pay 127 smackaroonies for her typo on the date of purchase. Suck it. Please, suck it. Even the manager will stroll in late with some Starbucks only to open their line after a full desk manicure pedicure they gave to themselves. Harvey, he got the short end of the stick. He paid to get the hell out of there. He was held hostage, like at a massage parlor. You go there for some action at the end of your massage that isn't exactly on the menu, and then it erupts at the end. They pull the screen out from under you. I gave you 4 experience. You give me extra $60 or I call police now. The only thing that can make a DMV worse, I don't think anyone wants to play that game. The only thing that can make it worse would be if the employees spoke Filipino, Vietnamese, Japanese, the enemy's language, right in front of you like they do at a fucking hair salon. Harvey C, our dates lined up. We could have crossed paths there at the DMV. He was so distraught he went home to make a Yelp review, and I made a YouTube video. Ladies and gentlemen, we should take pride in our bureaucracies as taxpayers of this nation. You pay your civil servants, they work for you. The unanimity of a hellish day at the DMV has gotten so unbearable that it's become a hack concept. That's why I'm here like a fly on shit. The Denver DMV is not the worst. I've been to worse, and I'm sure I will only experience far more terrible customer service at the future DMVs I go to. Next month, on Election Day, We are going to be debriefing F.A. Hayek's The Road to Serfdom. This is one of the principal texts of the 1900s. It was written between world wars and could have stopped humanity's biggest genocides had people, tried to pick up a book. We are also going to be reading Thomas Hobbes' Leviathan in 3 weeks, which is every government in history eventually reaching this oligarchical state. With 45 million Americans out of work and on the dole now, we're going to see more of our institutions working under this reverse incentive, a socialist model where the customer is always wrong. Wake up now, otherwise you're going to wake up 40 years from now in a Department of Motor Vehicles looking at your new photo ID, Vax passport, RFID chip, whatever they're doing at that point, saying, "What year is it? Who the hell is this in this picture? Is that me? Why does this say I'm a party member of the National Socialist Worker of the Fourth Reich?" Our best bet, ladies and gentlemen, is to reorganize our institutions rather than just abolish everything like the police force. If you read that Hayek book, as Hitler did in 1934 to implement his own auxiliary force, the brown shirts, grab a book before a Molotov this election season. We're heading to the Rubric, ladies and gentlemen. To no surprise, the Denver DMV is placing on the Yelp review rubric at an F-. The scale is flexible. It can always be adjusted. The customer service experience should serve as a benchmark for the food reviews to come. God help me the day I come across a restaurant that ranks lower than the Denver DMV. Thank you guys for tuning in to our second ever Yelp review. Little experimental content coming at you. I hope you guys are liking the new weekly schedule. We're going to get more goofy videos like this on the way. Next week, next Tuesday already, we got another nonfiction book coming at you. For October, we're getting spooky. It is Coyote America. Dan Flores, he is the real fucking deal. This guy's the truth. He's in on all the conservation efforts. He is lived all over the wildest places in America. Santa Fe currently, he has herds of coyotes. He's kicking turds around his backyard. It's going to be a really fun read in just 2 weeks, October 6th-ish. And that's all for now. Or as Mick in front of me would say, that's all, folks. Peace.